Oi, gente. Are you ready to vibe? Let's go. So, WiBE is a podcast that we're going to show you the behind the scenes of the biggest event of the planet from a female perspective. So, if you like this kind of content and are you curious about it, let's vibe with us. So, hello, oi, gente. We are here with one more episode about vibe, and today we are receiving Liana Brauer,
Yes.
and she came to Barcelona from Portugal just to participate today with us. So, thank you so much.
No, it's a pleasure.
First
to
of
be
all,
here.
to accept the invitation and to just be here with us
Yes,
today.
to be present, to be live here, vibing.
Vibing, that's great. So thank you so much. And yes, Liana, tell us a little bit about yourself. You know, how you started in this big events field and sports or music before, and how was the transition? And tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, so it all started. I'm a journalist from. This is my background. But when I was starting working, I did a lot of volunteering working, and one of the volunteer programs that I was working for had like bands performing for kids in a big show in Christmas, and one of the guys in the band asked me, "Are you a producer?" And I said, "Producer?" I did not know it was a job. I never thought about it. So I Googled it and I did a course and I started working in music business, working with independent bands, with a band called LS Jack.
Oh, yes, yeah. Amazing.
Super cool. And then I worked with Lulu Santos, Preta Gil, Luis Melodia. But in 2007, it came to Rio, the Pan American Games came to Rio. And I wrote an email to someone that I knew that was working there, asking if he could send my CV, and he introduced me to the lady that hired me for the last 19 years. Whoa. I met her in Rio. Christine Nicolai is a legend of sport presentation and ceremonies. We met there, and then after that, she took me to 16 different countries. All over the world, doing especially ceremonies and sport presentation.
Okay, that's amazing. So tell us a little bit about this ceremonies.
So yeah, I started in 2007. I did I was assistant manager of victory ceremonies with a great manager called Paige. She's Australian. I learned everything from her. So ceremonies is actually that. Actually, my mom would say, "You're the girls that have the trays." And so I'm behind the scenes planning every single detail for all the ceremonies to happen on multi-sport events. So it's normally for Rio. So, and then I started in 2007, but then in 2016, I was the head of ceremonies for the Olympics. So it's a huge job with like 5 managers, 45 producers, 350 volunteers, and all the details, podiums, trays, flags, anthems. And we work with a lot of different functional areas to deliver special ceremonies to all the athletes and make that special, that the most wanted and moment for them as special as it can be.
Wow. And how is it? Because it's the beginning of all the emotions, right? The ceremonies and everything. And Angelica was here before and she just told me that there is one team for flags, one team for... So people don't know that there is one specific FA, that's a functional area, for every small piece of a ceremony and then everything, right? During that.
Yes. So for opening and closing, it's the 2 different events. So it's events that work by themselves. It doesn't have a lot of impact in the sport, right? It's amazing and it has to happen, but ceremonies, victory ceremonies, medal ceremonies, it works closer with the sport.
Mhm.
And the impact of the ceremonies has the impact in the schedule is very important. So yes, all the details have to be precisely planned, so when everything comes together, we are delivering with no mistakes. As you said, for flags, for example, we have to have a flag manager, because for every athlete competing, you have to have a flag. So you cannot have one Brazilian flag if you have three Brazilian athletes
Oh,
competing,
at the
because they
same.
can, the
When
three
all
of
of
them
them
can
together.
can
Oh,
go to
and
the
then you need
podium,
to
and
use
then you need
all.
to have three
Okay.
flags. And then, when it's indoor, you have trapeze. When it's outdoor, you have flagpoles. So it's different size of flags, different orientation, you
Okay.
know. So we should have one person taking care of that. Not only that, but volunteers, the uniforms, the trays, podiums have to be designed for Paralympics, for example, with a lot of details. Are the athletes blind? Are they in wheelchair?
It's
Like
different from
how,
everyone in
yes,
each
and
sport.
and every moving part. So normally, when I have five assistant managers, and besides training, like cluster managers,
Mhm.
beside training their teams in their clusters, they also have a function inside our functional area, taking care of elements. So one will be like taking care of the flags, the other will help to do all the setting positions of the podiums in each venue, because we have to be careful with the position of the sun,
Oh,
position
yeah.
of the Olympic family, photographers, broadcast. So there are a lot of details that
To be to
have
cover
to
and
come
then.
together to have beautiful ceremonies.
Okay, to make it happen in a good
Yes.
way. Oh,
And
it's
it's a
really.
lot of work. In Rio, we were there for 2 years, and still, when it comes close, we're still like, oh my God, are we going to deliver? Like packing medals. No one think about it. If you have to have a medal for 100 meters women, and it has the event name, and it has to be there for that event when it happens, you have to pack it
Be
in the boxes that say the date and the event, and it has to go that day to that venue 5 hours before for you to check and prepare. So yeah,
Okay,
it,
so with all of these small things and small details and different countries, different teams, different cultures, there is something that happens that no one saw in the video, but behind the
oh
scenes
my God,
was an
so
oh my God
many,
situation.
so many. Like the best one for me was
Uh-huh,
in Rio.
uh-huh.
Phelps was swimming for the last time, so
Okay,
it's a big,
yes,
it's a
was
big
really,
landmark, it's a
uh-huh.
big moment. So I went there to support my team, to be there with them. And we were watching, and he's super nice. He was talking to the people before the race, and and when they finished, when they touched
Uh-huh.
the wall and the swimming
Uh-huh.
pool, I looked at the screen and I could not believe it. It's a triple silver. And Phelps is a silver. It's like
Uh-huh.
one guy got gold and then three other guys got silver. And things that
Oh,
no one think about, we have to prepare flags, and the flags have to have
the same
they have to be like gold, and then the other three have to have the bars that attach the flag. They have to be in country name or
there
alphabetic
is a
order.
protocol for it.
Yes.
Everything has a protocol, right?
But
Uh-huh.
the worst part of it is also, if you have a tie, all the announcements are shorter. You're going to announce the presenters, and then you're going to go silver and gold, and you're going to play the anthem. So it's a really short time for the flags to be prepared, and the guy who is like doing the
Uh-huh, to
the
raise it.
trapeze
Uh-huh.
is like on top of like in a catwalk. So I'm running and I'm like, oh my God, this is not happening. And it's Phelps. Well,
Yeah,
it's the Olympics.
go.
But it all worked great, and I have that picture. I can send it to you. It's
Yes, please share with
so
us.
cool. And after that, the other thing no one sees is we're walking outside, and I'm watching the TV, and Brazil and Germany were playing football, and it was the final. Brazil won,
Oh, yeah.
But
The link.
I can see in the TV, my team is not moving. They have all the athletes, all the trades are there, and they're not moving. So everyone start to call me, like my boss, my God,
Every
whatever.
God was
Like,
calling.
why are they not moving? So I call my assistant manager. She's there, and I can see her live on TV. She grabs her phone, she look at it, and she put it back to her pocket. And I'm like, oh my God.
What is happening?
And then they start to
It's
move.
not okay.
And she said, it's like, Liana, everyone is looking at us, and I know what's going on. I know you're going to make the same questions everyone is making, but I had it all under control,
Oh, but that
which
was
is great.
nice.
You know, you have to
Yes.
empower your team, and they know what they're
Yes.
doing. But they were not moving because one of the athletes went to take the doping control.
Before that, so they
Yes.
needed to wait.
It's a German athlete. He lost. He didn't really wanted to go to the
Okay.
ceremonies, but that's why it took a
So-
while. That's what they said, you know.
Yes.
I'm not sure, but yeah.
But from the scene, no one knows what is happening, right? So everybody just get
No, yes.
desperate. What is
And it's
going
like,
on
move.
there?
And other details that day Neymar had the little 100% Jesus on his
Oh,
head, and we're not supposed to have those. So yeah, a lot happens.
Yes, all the time. Okay, so it's good. But which one of all these tournaments was the best for you to work, to deliver, about team, or more emotional, or you have more, I don't know, that just still now you just look at that and remember, and you have great memories because of something that just connected you with that.
Okay, when I get this question, I normally, we cannot talk about the Olympics in your own country.
Yeah,
There is
because it's a
nothing to
different-
compete
yeah,
with that.
nothing,
okay,
never.
so
Yeah.
especially like it was a big job. I had a great position. The team was amazing. It's real. It's the Olympics. So if we don't talk about that one, I would say the Arab Games 2011,
Okay.
because it was the first time I was doing a job outside my country.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Qatar back then is not what it is now, right? It was very like, it was different. It felt different, but at the same way, it was very warm. The team was great. So the executive producer could bring everyone she wanted,
Okay.
and it's all experts, and it was just fun, emotional, and nice, and like living a different culture, learning about like other cultures make you feel so small, right? It
Mhm.
feels like, okay, I know nothing about this world. And every time I moved to a different country, like Japan, it was crazy. I love that country. I would go back in a heartbeat. But I would say, yeah, Qatar
Was
2011 Arab Games was has a
he
place
has
in
a
my
place.
heart.
That's great.
Yes.
That's great. Yes. I guess everybody went just, I guess every time we started again, right? In every country, in every culture, and everything in every place. And about language, because when I was in Qatar, I was a hospitality manager over there, and I had I don't know how many different countries, nationalities together, and accents.
Yes.
Accents together and combine it. Do you had something about accents or people don't understand each other? Because once I just I was in a trade fair, and then I call a friend and say, oh, I need a leather, and then he just arrived with a 7 meters cable, and I needed a leader. I never know how to say that. It was what's the name, the steps.
Ladder.
Yes, but and the big
Like
cable.
stairs. The big cable.
Yes, leather. One
I
is
have no
leather and
idea.
the other is leather. So I needed 7 meters leather and not leather. And for my accent, he just completely misunderstood. And I told everybody, no, it's just arriving. And then he came with a huge cable in his arms.
I'm like,
And
"No,
I
this
didn't
is
need
not what I want."
Yes. And then I look at him, no, just go out. That's not what it is.
There's a lot of loss in translation.
Yes, right.
And especially we're normally wearing like 3 different radios,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
everyone is trying to understand each other, and it's just hard. But not with accent, but culturally is sometimes it's hard to adapt. You know, to being a woman in some
Mhm.
countries culturally is a challenge. But I never experienced anything that was rude, but it's just different. In one country, I was talking to, he was a sport manager, I was a ceremonies manager. We both could speak English, but he would reply to his assistant, and his assistant would talk to me and back. And this is just the way that
That
culture
how
works,
okay.
and it was weird, but I'm not in my country, I'm in someone
We
else's
just
country,
go.
and I have to be respectful. It's not a matter of if I agree or not. It's I took the job. I had a book with all the rules and how that culture would be different from mine, and it was just a different environment.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we learn to navigate
Right.
those, right?
Yeah.
Events teach us a lot on just keep going. It was not rude, as I said. He never said anything disrespectful to me, but the dynamic was
Was different.
was
It was a
weird.
little bit weird. Okay, it was awkward. But I think that is a thing about being Brazilian, that have gave us this kind of flexibility and just the way to accept other cultures and to just go in a different way. Because the other girls, the women who are here, we just talk about Brazilians deliver. We are passionate about, and when we decided to do something, we go for it. And traveling abroad and all around, and all these big countries, big events, and everything, most of the time you see the Brazilians are different in how we approach and how we deliver and behavior and everything. So you think we have this kind of, I don't know, different ways to work or to accept, or how is it for you? How
I
you
would say
perceive that
I would say Brazilians, but Latin
yes, in
people.
general?
We're hustlers. I worked in Buenos Aires Youth Olympic Games, Colombia, Pan American Youth Pan American Games, and I could see that. It's there. I think it's we want to
To
get
the
things done in a different way. I would say Brazilians are in in our industry. We have more experience. We've done Pan American Games, World Cup. We have Formula One. We have big
Mhm,
events that that
all the time.
that made us more experienced. But in general, I feel like Latin people, they do it and do it with uh, pride and do it with a good will. Yeah, and I love, and I've seen other cultures that look like ours. I
Yeah.
was now in Saudi Arabia, and I saw the guys from Azerbaijan, and they're very
Oh,
Brazilian.
yeah.
I would say like, oh
Yes.
my god, I wish I could speak your language. We would merge. We would be like one
Uh-huh.
team. Yeah. But I'm very proud of being a Brazilian woman delivering international events around the world. No one, I would never imagine. And I'm from a small city in Rio called
Okay.
Resende.
Oh,
And I always say, well, my little Liana would never imagine how far
which
she
is a
went.
nice.
Yes, it's cool.
Yes, and from that, what do you just have as a tip for people who want to start to work with that? We just spoke about how it is start and what's the challenge to be all the time in a different country, in a different culture outside, and far from your family, and you have kids. So being a woman, so to make it all together, and what was the challenge? Of course, I love what I do, but we have some challenge, right? And people who
Yes.
want to go in that, what do you think they should know before enter at this
Yeah.
marketing?
First of all, speak languages, different languages. I feel like in our country, there's so many amazing producers
Yeah,
that I had the chance to bring people around, and I just couldn't. If you don't speak in,
any other
it's at
language?
least English, which is more like universal among production event. That like, if you don't speak any other language, it's hard to go international, of course. But for women, it's very hard. I learned I that I so a friend of mine said I work. How did she say? She said you have a man's life, because I
Yeah,
travel. And I know I have a very good supportive system home that I'm a single mom with 2 kids. My aunt lives with me. I brought her from Brazil to live with me in Portugal. So I know the kids are
Well,
good. She's taking care. I have friends and family that also support me. But I do a lot of homework on video calls with my daughter. I'm always present, even if I'm distant. But it's hard being a woman. It's hard. Everyone that's the question I get a lot. I've never seen anyone asking one of my colleagues if they. And what about the kids? If you're
yeah,
a man, but if you're a woman and you were working abroad, and how long are you gonna stay? I'm gonna stay for 40 days. People would go like, "Oh my God, how can you do
and
it?"
your
So
kid.
it is harder for us because all the pressure of being a mom is on you. You know, I don't know. I don't know if people ask my ex-husband, and he works in events.
Yes,
He
okay.
travels a lot.
No one
I'm
asked
with the
him the same
kids.
kind of things,
Like
right?
I don't know. It's just different. So that's a big challenge. That's a big challenge, and be flexible.
Mhm.
Learn to be flexible, to listen, to learn. You know, there are always other ways to to do the same thing. Experience counts a lot, but be open to learn, to teach from other people, make good connections.
Yes,
You
connect is
never know.
everything,
A
right?
volunteer in one project will be the head of a
The
functional
next one.
area 3 events after that, and it has happened. So treat everyone well because it's a
You never know.
must,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
make good connections. Like, take the time to sit with people, have a coffee, spend time with
Be
your
present
colleagues.
with them.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, because this network will make the next job easier. We were just speaking, like talking about it. If I'm flying to spend 40 days in Saudi Arabia, it's better if I'm going there and meeting friends from other projects,
Yes.
people that I know, that I trust. So yeah.
Yeah, you feel more belonging, you feel more at home, you have a sense of.
Yes.
So I guess we started to understand that home is different, right? Because home is when you arrive in some different country and you can see a smile that you don't see for a long
Oh
time
my
from a
God, yes.
different environment, and that just change your life, change how you see and how you feel about being abroad, be far from everybody. Just it's something that warm up your heart and just make
Yes.
everything
Yes.
different. But
It's so funny because when I was writing my LinkedIn post or something
uh-huh.
about the last project that I participated, I wrote that there are
Okay.
people that feel like home,
Yeah.
that
That's
you
nice.
feel like, oh my God, I'm home with you, I'm home. And then it makes easier, like, the process of being away from home.
Yes, it's good.
Yes,
Yeah.
working for
Uh,
sure.
and you have an experience with music and sports. What's the
Yes.
difference between it? Because for us, people just have big events. But for you, what was the most thing, the biggest difference that you say, what is happening here? Because you had a different, understanding about production and events and delivery.
Yes.
So,
But I learned it all from music. I was traveling in Brazil, which is a continental
yeah,
country, like
uh-huh.
size, the size of the country. I had to do a lot of logistics and planning for those trips. It would be like 14 people, depending on the size of the artist, and like timing, scheduling. I learned a lot about like setting up stages and putting up a show together. But I've tried. I worked in a huge tech conference for a year in Portugal, which was lovely. But then I missed something that you can only get from music and sports, which
Okay.
is emotion, people's
Okay.
reaction. Seeing, like, you're delivering something that you can see their faces. They're like, when people are singing or crying, and
Yes, it's amazing.
when you see athletes, enjoying their moment, and crying and singing their anthem, it feels the same. So it has like a connection between the two of them. But the biggest like difference is that in sport events, it's it's a lot of more details for the
Uh-huh.
size of music events that I've done compared to the sport events that I've done. It's a lot of details. It's broadcasted.
It's
It's
huge.
huge.
Uh-huh.
So you learn how to react to things quickly, but the planning came like the heavy planning documents came from my sport career.
It's same, but different.
Yes, yes. But in
Completely.
the end, it's about emotion, and that's what is
I guess that's
addictive.
yes. I guess
And
that's the main point. Deliver emotion
yeah,
all the time,
yeah,
no matter what, no matter where. It's about
yeah,
emotion.
yeah.
Everything's about emotion. So it's about emotion, but funny things and crazy things as well, right?
Oh, a lot of moments that you say like, "Oh my god." So I have friends that call me Forrest Gump because it sounds like
Okay.
it sounds like it. You know, one day you were sitting, as I said, in the same room as Phelps,
Uh-huh.
uh, like going for the last
Tournament that was
tournament
Olympics. Uh-huh.
competing. The other day you were like counting medals inside the mint, or you like all locked and counting and packing medals. Another day you're just running to find things to sew a flag.
Okay.
And it's just like it's fun.
Okay.
It's never the same. There is never a dull moment, right?
Uh-huh.
Like it's always something new that you learn, that you leave. Right now I was in a tournament in Saudi Arabia, football tournament, and I learned a lot about opening ceremonies and
Uh-huh.
fireworks and lasers, and and there's always something to learn, and it's amazing. It's a I'm very lucky,
To just be part
and
of it.
yes, to be
Yeah.
part of something like that, have
But
a life like that.
yeah, but tell us one story about you that you knowing for. You know that kind of things that you just I don't know in the bar with the friends and everybody when I tell the history that they gonna know that it was you. You know that define you that because you tell
Oh
people
my
all
god.
the time that was funny, that was crazy, or that you had a I don't know a great
Mm.
difference about it. And if they say I know her because oh
Oh
I
my
was
god.
there, or
People know me for like being like I don't know. I have fun. I
yeah,
love to have
yes,
fun. And
that's
I
what I
want
said.
my team to have fun.
Uh-huh.
You know, I want people to be happy when they're working and they to be proud of themselves. And yeah, one thing is that my team would always like I they would always say, I know that I know I'm just checking. It's just like, you know, we train for this moment. You go and
Just
do
breathe
it.
and go.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like yeah, that's a I build a team that I want to be empowered to make decisions. Of course, there are some levels of decisions that people will have to call
Mhm.
you and ask if for your advice. But in general, is like I'm known for like making jokes, having
Nice.
fun, and 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 and
Make a good environment to
and
work and
yes,
light place and just
I
enjoyable.
want everyone to get addictive to production, like you're gonna do it, but you're gonna want to do it more and more and more.
Yes.
But oh my god, there are so many funny moments and situations, and some that I'm like, oh,
You
why
just
did
wanna
that
cry while
happen?
you're doing
Yes,
it.
it's very sensitive.
Yeah.
If you play the wrong anthem, if you raise the wrong flag,
Oh.
if you announce the wrong presenter, so it's very sensitive. So there
Mhm.
is a moment also that it's like very tense until the end when we
And then you're
can
going to
oh,
relax and
it
breathe
went
back.
great.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes, and about numbers, people are always curious about numbers because they don't know nothing they don't know things about it. So it's when you're just talking with people and tell about your career, something like that, there is numbers that sometimes because you remember because we never forgot about it,
Yes,
but that people
yes.
just say and they get impressed or something like that you remember.
Like metals is very like people can make the math by themselves, but flags is something that is always amazing. For Rio, for example, I think it was 4,000 flags for ceremonies. And then if you count and that's not my job, it's protocol, if you count the nation flags inside the venue, if you count the flags that are on like flags, like the plazas outside the
Okay.
venues, it's a lot of flags. But podiums, all the podiums, they have to be modular.
Uh-huh.
So you have to put them together in an easy way, because
To just
when
put it
it's
fast
during
because of time.
ceremonies, yes. So it's like 300 pieces of podiums. Yeah, like, and when people see all like the medals coming with the trays, they never imagine it's 400 volunteers. You don't have the same team going
To
everywhere.
know that,
It's a lot
yes.
of people to do that job.
That's
So yeah, it's a lot of numbers, a lot of little, like, how many trays would you need, like, so the numbers are, I just think it's impressive because no one thinks about it.
yes,
So they're
yes.
like, oh my God, I never thought about it. And you never thought about, like, one thing that is curious. We have to hold the flags. We have to secure the flags because people will steal flags.
Oh.
Well, Jamaica's flag. Everyone wants a Jamaican flag.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, guys, please.
Leave
I'm
it
always
there.
counting, and I'm like, I'm missing a Jamaican flag again. Well, Brazilian
Okay.
flag in Brazil,
Uh-huh.
when you're in the
Everybody
country, people
wanted.
want a
Uh-huh.
Brazilian flag, and people just think it's like a gift, or I don't know. So you have to take care of some uh, mascots or Jamaican flag. It's lovely. It's
It's
nice to have it
lovely.
hanging on
Yes, they think
on a
about
wall.
it. Yes. Great souvenir from Olympics or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, most of people, when we work with events, they have something about famous. They think we are in the glamour part as well, right? A lot of people just, oh, you work with events. So, which kind of famous people do you know? Oh, give me some tickets.
Oh my God.
Everybody, come on, ticket is the when you started to work with events, everybody will start to ask you for tickets. Everybody thinks that you are the owner of the events,
Oh
and
my
they just
God.
open the
Yes.
door and they just say, "Really, you cannot do it? How was it for you?" Because music and sports,
Oh my
that you
God.
are,
Yes. 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 But it's hard to sell something. It's hard to give something that you make money from, right? And it's not my
and
money.
that's
I
your,
just
yeah.
when I was working with artists, yes, I had like 20 tickets that I could use for that. But in general, you don't. You have
Yeah.
accreditation, and you cannot bring people inside. Like, just give me accreditation. My friends from accreditation would say it's a nightmare for them. Um, but yeah, like, and the glamour part, I've learned to just, it's part of my job. Like, I know people in bank, they count money, and they get used to it, right? We are all the time with a lot of important people that are just part of our job, and they have to feel um they're private. They have to feel, they have to feel they are okay. No one is
Uh-huh.
gonna come and talk to them, take selfies. This is part of
Yes,
the rules.
because
Actually, if you're
yes,
a
yes.
ceremonies person, you won't go and take a selfie with an athlete. It's just not, you
It's not,
should not do it,
yeah, because I
'cause
guess, yeah,
you have access to a very important area,
and people and
and
so
it's
on.
a very important moment for that person. You don't want to distract them or with you.
Yes, but I guess we are working, right? Different. Some people,
Yes.
they just think that you're there and you're just a fan in a big show, or just go for see the athlete. But it's completely different, because when I see famous people, they are workers doing their
Yes.
jobs just
Yes.
right there as we are doing our jobs. So we just look, and I cannot recognize them. I just say, okay, that person needs to be that, because all the other things that I need to take care around, and even if it's Phelps or Ronaldinho
Yes,
Gaúcho,
no,
it's
they're
just a,
it's part of our job.
yes.
I saw Alicia Keys once. They were in
Yeah.
the same event. She was playing 4 songs in an opening ceremony, and I'm a
And
big
that was,
fan. And I was
yeah,
like,
okay.
but it's still,
Sometimes it's hard.
it
Definitely,
is, it is.
definitely.
You just get used to it, and
Yeah.
and they have to trust you, right? So you cannot act like a fan,
Yes, yes.
because I have to brief them. I had one situation in Brazil, in an event, and there was a politician. He was giving medals, and every time I could see during the tournament that every time people would say, because he was doing some of other participation, every time people saw him, they would boo him.
Oh,
So I looked at him and I said, "You're gonna give medals now, and you're gonna go give the medal and come back to your place. Don't stop for a picture. If you stop for a picture, you know
they're
what's gonna happen,
yeah.
right?" And he was like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So he went. He took the medal. He gave the medal, shake the hand, go back, and no one booed. And he's like, "Thank you." It's
Same is,
see,
yes.
see, it's part of like, and it doesn't matter who he is, if I like him or
It's a
not.
person, yeah.
My job is to make that moment good for the athlete. So we have to bring attention
To
to
that,
the
and not
athlete
to be
and
a
not
scene or
anything.
political
Yes.
something, right?
Yes.
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 And people are curious. We are just talking about how we counting time. Just like in football, we have match day -5, -4, and then the day of the match we start to counting from hours, match
Yes.
time minus and after. So how is one typical day or 2 days before from the ceremonial path? Because there is a lot of integration
Yeah.
thing, and different from World Cup, there is one match per venue. So when I'm doing a World Cup,
Yeah.
I was in Khalifa, I'm doing that match. That is only one. But in Olympics, you have a lot
Yes.
happening
At the same time.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is a very important part of our job. Is normally when I'm doing ceremonies is inside a functional area called sport presentation.
Mhm.
So sport presentation is everything you see in a venue that is not competition. So
Okay.
the video boards, the announcers, the DJ. So I've done a lot of sport presentation planning and delivery around the world also. And sometimes I'm inside sport presentation as the ceremonies person. And we have a venue producer who is a show director, and he's gonna cue the show, like go announcer, go music. And that's how the show will come together. So we're lining up the athletes. We are all ready. We have athletes, we have medals, we have presenters, we have flags, the anthem, whatever. Everything is ready. We brief the athletes, and the show caller or the venue producer is gonna say, "Go ceremonies." Okay, so and then he's gonna cue all the elements, the music, the video board, and even the flags to be raised. But before that, as you were asking, ceremonies, they would start 5 hours before a ceremony. The team will arrive and then start to prepare the room. And like from that is like counting medals, preparing flags, ironing flags, checking with other functional areas if you have everything, checking with protocol if we have presenters, and it's all about checking, double checking, triple checking to get it perfect. So it starts 5 hours before, and then until that moment where we are lined up and we get the cue to go and perform ceremonies. Everything is synchronized, because most important than us in the venue is we are doing it for a audience outside that. Broadcast is our main client, because if you think we have 50 people inside an arena, we have millions watching on TV.
Yes.
And for broadcast, it's a second by second delivery, right? So it's super organized. Scripts are done in advance. We do, as you ask, we do dry runs, meaning like team rehearsing with music 2 days before, and then we have like the big rehearsal with broadcast and everyone, like day -1 to be able to perform the ceremonies in the day of the event. And different from football, which is like one ceremony, team sports normally one ceremony. Sometimes if you are on swimming or athletics, well, athletics is 6 field of plays in one. You have 6 different things going on. So it's competition, ceremonies, and it has to be very well orchestrated. So the impact on competition is minimum, and you don't delay competition because you were
You
late
have a lot
with your
to do before.
ceremonies.
Okay. And how many ceremonies do you have of this in one normally? you
Oh
know?
my God! Depending on the depending on the event.
Uh-huh.
For example, in the Warrior Games is it happens in the U.S. It's for wounded warriors, and it's branches. It's the army against
Okay.
navy, and they are all
Dr-
wounded warriors, like no legs, blind, or
Uh-huh.
no arms, and I could have 72 ceremonies in one day, because it's
One
not
day.
only the event, it's not like 100 meters, but also the classification, because
Okay.
blinded athletes won't compete with athletes that don't have one leg and things like that. So, and there is a funny story about
Uh-huh.
those wounded warriors. I was performing. It was 72 ceremonies. I was in ceremony 34, and a very handsome military come and talk to me and
Okay.
goes like, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And I'm like, "Yes."
Of course,
And I go, like, I remove
yeah.
my headset, and
Uh-huh.
he's like, "Your trousers are open." And I look, and I'm like, "Ugh," and I zip up. And I was so embarrassed, because can you imagine, like, all the wheelchair
Yes,
guys and everyone is
yes.
looking, and no one told me that. Oh my God. And it was 34 ceremonies. Ah, I was dying. But now he's my best friend,
Yes,
When I see him, he's like,
okay.
"Oh my God." He's like, "Yes,
Yes, thank
people
you.
that do that for you, they're good friends."
Amazing. That happens.
See, there's a lot of, yeah. But it's lovely.
Uh,
It's lovely. And this event is like amazing.
yeah.
And talking about like VIPs, I had Prince Harry
Okay.
giving medals. Super nice, super tall.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just like it feels, and that's when my friend said I'm like Forrest Gump, because
Okay,
I'm
because
like,
in no way.
first I was having lunch and he was serving the food for all the athletes. So I
Oh,
have a video of him like serving food, and then he was performing.
did matter.
He was a presenter for the ceremonies, and yeah, sounds like Forrest Gump, right?
Yes.
No,
I want to
it's
believe
my
it.
life. Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. So, and we are about to close in. And before that, I would like to ask you, who are you besides all the career and everything? We are women. We just do a lot of things. But how
Yes,
you?
I'm the most Sagittarius person you would know.
Okay.
I love to travel, to have fun, to be with people. I'm like, my best job is being a mom. I could not imagine, my first kid was not planned, and the moment I became a mother, I was like, wow, that's it.
Okay.
Like
Nice.
a
Beautiful.
super mom. And I'm a Brazilian living in Portugal that just loves to hang out with friends and do some churrasquinho
Yeah.
and drink some
Great.
caipirinhas. Yeah, that's me.
Pão de queijo, churrasquinho, caipirinha.
Yes,
Amazing.
yes.
That's great. And so we are here in WiBE, Women in Big Events, and you just flew from Portugal here. So
Yay,
what means
yes.
WiBE for you, you
Oh,
know?
means that a good opportunity for us to talk and to share experience to other women, to inspire
Yeah.
other girls, and run this world.
Yeah. Amazing. That's great. And I guess that's the main part about it. Just like I really love one of the interview from Marta that she was talking about press and say, when I was young, I didn't saw no one there. I didn't understood that I could do this or play football or be here in a
Yeah,
press conference or something like this. And I guess vibing somehow just came to inspire and say, hey, women or men, that's not the point. If you want to do it, just go for it.
go
But
and do it. Yes,
but we run
yes.
things and
And you can do whatever you put yourself into doing. So
yeah.
yes, let's vibe.
And that's vibes. Thank you so much for being
Thank you.
here.
Thank you for
Yes,
inviting me. It
yes,
was
it was
lovely.
amazing. And now people can know a little bit more about ceremonies and big
Yes.
events and a lot of details of it. So if you're interested of this kind of content or more about behind the scenes of the biggest event of the planet, just came with us and let's vibe. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.